What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is September 15th, 2020, and welcome to another stock options recap. Today I'm going to be showing you guys a couple stocks that I've been looking at throughout the day today. Fedex and Adobe had earnings today. Fedex is doing extremely well. They moved almost over $30. We're going to have to see where that's at in the morning, but they're killing it right now. Adobe did decent as well, but they're really not moving as big, so maybe a continuation to the put side might be better on Adobe, but I am going to be looking for a continuation play on Fedex towards the call side. If I can find a cheap play on the September 18th, it's really just going to depend how we open in the morning, what the options prices are, because the option prices on all these plays that I wanted for Fedex are super expensive, so I'm assuming some of these like 300s and overs are going to open up at like $1, but if we can scoop one for like $10-$20, you know I'm going to be in that. But today was a pretty interesting day. The main indexes were up a lot in the morning, but then we had a pretty big sell-off at the end of the day, so I'm pretty interested to see where we're going to open up at the morning. I'm sure we're going to open back up just because Adobe and Fedex had good earnings, but I can't really say that two stocks doing decent on earnings is going to drive the market upward. And then the Apple event was today, and that's about when we started selling off, is when the Apple event was over, because Apple started selling off quite a bit. I'm not sure if this was like the main catalyst to why we sold off today. There was some news that JP Morgan had a COVID outbreak, and the stock got pretty clobbered today compared to the other banks, so I'm going to be watching out for JP Morgan. I did end up getting a couple plays today. I got a Goldman Sachs play. Doesn't look like it's going to be too good, but we're going to have to see where that opens out tomorrow. I don't think I really overpaid, but I guess JP Morgan dragged the banks down with that COVID news. The only thing I don't get is Wells Fargo has been doing super well, and this was one of the stocks that was getting clobbered while the banks were still going up. So Wells Fargo has me interested just because it's not really moving with the banks like it usually does. So I'm going to keep an eye on Wells Fargo, but the options are kind of expensive, so be careful of that. If we keep selling off by chance, I'm going to be looking at puts on McDonald's or maybe Starbucks, even though I have said a bunch of times that I like Starbucks for the upside. McDonald's has moved up so much, and if we keep selling off and all the other stocks like Coca-Cola, Starbucks, Shake Shack, maybe even beyond, and those start selling off, I'm going to probably be looking for some cheaper puts on McDonald's. But I'm not going to get too crazy on that because I don't really think we're going to sell off again. But if we do, this is what I'm going to be looking at. Probably a shorter term, but if I can get a longer term with less premium, that will be better. Also, keep an eye on Snapchat. This could be a decent put play as well if we start to sell off big. Snapchat's been up a lot, and as you can see on the daily, we're kind of hitting that level of where we fell off at the top, so we're either going to break out and go up above 26, or we might see a sell-off if the market sells off here. So keep an eye on Snapchat. The premiums are getting more expensive on Snapchat just because it's getting more volatile. Boeing did pretty decent today. I'm sure this stock dragged down the Dow a lot, and that's why we're only up $2 now. That seems to be a common trend lately. We're doing super well in the mornings, and then we have sell-offs later in the day. So if you're a day trader, you might be able to take advantage of this pattern that keeps happening, but just be super careful. I've been getting clapped on weeklies. I know it's more like my fault than anything, but you just got to be super careful with weeklies because they can go against you very quickly, especially if you overspend. I'm going to be keeping an eye on Spotify as well because they had some news that Trump accepted a debate with Biden on the Joe Rogan podcast, and Joe Rogan podcast is now owned by Spotify. I do kind of want to get some Spotify for the long term, but I don't really have any cash in my account to be getting long term right now. I'm pretty much all the way invested for the most part, but if I can find a decent options play longer term on Spotify, I might want this just because of that piece of news. If Biden actually accepts Trump's offer, I'm sure the stock's going to go crazy. But like I've said in the last video, none of this is a recommendation. This is just what I'm seeing in the market. And you can either bet against me, which is probably the best idea, or you can just don't trade the option. Buy the shares or something. Buying the shares is at least beneficial. The option, debatable. But since I missed out telling you guys about Fedex and Adobe in the last video, I want to tell you that next week, Nike and General Mills, those are the two earnings plays that I'm looking at. I like General Mills more because it's cheaper and you can get more long-term, closer to the money than Nike. Nike contracts are kind of expensive, but I'm going to be keeping an eye on those for next week. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to source what you've been looking at in the comments below, any news, plays. Be sure to leave a like on the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.